actually collected as a grade. Okay, that's being done. There we go, back here. All right. You should be able to find this on your assignment page of things to do today. All righty. So you need to, as soon as everybody's in, so I'll assist, but you can get started working on this study page. All right, good morning, good morning. So again, you should be able to find this on your, if you haven't already downloaded it, you should be able to find it on your assignment page, things to do today. And it should say study guides. When I think everybody's in, then I'll start giving you a little help with this. So I'm gonna close. I'll show you where I found it. So if you are trying to find it, let me go from student view. No, that's not helpful. All right, so looking at student view from you, you should be, what you want to click on is this where it says Cellular Respiration Study Guide. Want to click on that, then you want to open it up. All right, you want to work on this today, and it is, while we are going to have a test, and Landon, you didn't come back yesterday, but I marked you present because I knew you were in, because I had those issues with my, but we did come back, we did have class. But we are downloading this worksheet. This is a study guide. We are going to have a quiz Friday. Okay. Okay. That's okay. That was my issue. I corrected it. I had to shut down everything, turn it totally off, and then come back in. And so I do appreciate you all for logging back in as quickly as you did. All right. So again, everybody needs to be working on the cellular respiration study guide. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute so I can do attendance, and then I'll come back and I will. Okay, we got somebody else coming in. Okay, here we go. Also, with my last class, I learned how to make sure that you can hear the audio when I'm showing a video. So I figured that out. So I'm learning and growing. So the next time I show a video, you should be able to hear it. All right. So everybody again is working on this. I'm going to stop sharing and take attendance, and then I will come back and assist you with this. So again, you are completing this, or you should download it in such a way that you can fill in the blanks, uh, write on it, and then upload it for a grade, just like a participation grade that you completed your work study, your worksheet. Okay. And then we will quiz on Friday. And that'll be the quiz, the last quiz before the 9-week report card. All right, I'm going to come out of student view. All right. And I don't have this problem with you all, but I need to say this anyway. I do attendance from GoGuardian. And so when I'm looking at GoGuardian, I don't want to see that you just logged in and the screen is idle. Everybody needs to be participating and on. So when I turn on GoGuardian now, everybody should be working on the review sheet and not looking at me. So when I see my face on GoGuardian, that means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Thank you. So everybody should be in Canvas. Everybody should be looking at, and I thought Piper was here. You are here. So why does it say that you are offline? I'm looking at you. Are you not logged into, you got to be logged in because I see you. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad I noticed you were here because like I said, I do attendance by who's offline and I know I see you. Okay. All righty. So that means everybody's here. Good, good, good. Oh, there it goes. Maybe it's spinning. Okay. It's on now. All right. So now I have everybody on. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. All right. Let me mark everybody present. And then that's great. Everybody's here. Okay. Mm. All right. Now, when I share this page, I can't write on it, but I'm going to talk you through it. And we'll get as much of it done as possible. Okay. So on the first part, they want you to say which organelle is involved in respiration and which one is involved with photosynthesis. All right. Can, can somebody tell me which organelle inside the cell is responsible for cellular respiration? You can just type it in the chat. All right, thank you, Ariana. The mitochondria. And photosynthesis, chloroplast. Very good. All right, so now with the rest of these, they're giving you the answers and you need to pick one of those answers to put them in the appropriate columns. So for cellular respiration, when does that occur? All the time. Thank you, Ariana. You're on it. All right. So what they mean by all the time is that it's going to happen in both plants and animals. We tend to, obviously the other one happens when light is present. Photosynthesis only happens in plants. It requires light. And if there's no light, and then we need to go back and look at um, the Kelvin cycle, but we'll look at that in a few minutes. But in the dark, it's doing something else. So respiration happens. So again, photosynthesis makes the food, and then we take that food and we use it for cellular respiration. So Cellular respiration is always going on. Doesn't require light. It does require oxygen. All right. The molecules that go in. Now, when we say input, we're looking at our equation. So what goes into the equation for cellular respiration? It's glucose and oxygen. Thank you. And so that means that carbon dioxide and water go into photosynthesis. Okay. Now our outputs, if we're looking at that equation, what's coming out of this chemical reaction for respiration, it is carbon dioxide and water. And for us, we're exhaling carbon dioxide and water vapor. And for what is coming out of photosynthesis is going to be the other choice of glucose and oxygen. Okay, and then the oxygen is released, the glucose is saved for respiration. Okay, energy sources. All right. What is the energy source for cellular respiration? Chemical bonds. All right, so this glucose molecule is the carbon, the hydrogen, the oxygen, they're all being held together by a chemical bond. So in order to break these bonds, energy is released. The energy source for photosynthesis is the sun. All right. Catabolic and anabolic, those are two words that we've not talked about. So which one is which? Take a minute to look those up and give me a definition. So tell me what is meant by catabolic. All right, catabolic for respiration. What is catabolic? What does that mean? Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up and put it in the chat. What does catabolic mean? And while you're at it, look up anabolic. All right. Excuse me. And Ariana, I love you because you're answering all the questions, but everybody else don't depend on her to answer all the questions. All right, thank you, Piper. All right, and we got Kashan. Can break down complex molecules such as proteins. Okay, breaking down large molecules. So that would be our glucose molecule. We're breaking that down. Sequence of enzymes. Thank you, Piper. Okay, now we need anabolic. Biochemical process is simple combining, to combine and generate. All right, so we're combining water and carbon dioxide to generate a complex molecule, which would be the glucose, which is the C6H12O6. And then the other, we are the process where we're breaking that glucose molecule down. Okay, everybody got that? So one is breaking up and one is building, one is building up and one is breaking. All right, we're good. If photosynthesis is a process that deposits energy in a savings account, then what is cellular respiration? Okay. All right, I like that. It withdraws energy. It's a process that withdraws the energy. Okay, so we're storing it with photosynthesis. We're creating this molecule that is storing the energy, and respiration is a process where we're withdrawing energy. Okay, good, good, good. All right, next page. Okay. All right. How are photosynthesis and cellular respiration opposite in terms of carbon dioxide? This is an important question. And what you do to think about this, look at down, if you look at question four has two parts to it. And for each one, they give you the chemical symbols for the equation. So look at, and I wish I could draw on this. Look at where carbon dioxide is in both of these equations and tell me what you see. All right, Ariana says the photosynthesis is taking in carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen. Okay, so then what is respiration? So that's a good statement for photosynthesis. Now we need to talk about cellular respiration. So that would only be half an answer if we were answering cellular respiration, the process of, okay. All right, so I'm going to shorten this a little bit because you have said more than they asked you for in both cases. What they're asking you for is in terms of carbon dioxide. So I'm going to take what you wrote, and I'm looking at what Ariana wrote and Kashan wrote in the chat, and I'm going to shorten it a little. So what you want to say, photosynthesis takes in carbon dioxide, and then respiration releases carbon dioxide. And that's how you can answer that question without worrying about all the other things. Okay? So photosynthesis takes in carbon dioxide, respiration releases carbon dioxide. All right, so now they want you to look at these two equations in terms of being the opposite of one another, because that's basically what you just said in number 3. And like I said, they're giving you the chemical equations for both of them. And they're asking you to analyze the equation so that you can answer these questions. So the first equation starts with C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Which equation is this? Is this respiration or photosynthesis? Mm. And deciding which equation this is also helps you answer the other 3 questions. So which one, you have 2 choices, photosynthesis or respiration. Which one starts with C6H12O6, respiration? Thank you. So number 5 should say respiration. All right. Is this aerobic or anaerobic? Aerobic means it requires oxygen. Anaerobic means the absence of oxygen. So which one is this? Look, and then you can get this by looking at the equation. You would say, what is 6O2? That means 6 molecules of diatomic oxygen. So that means that number 6 is aerobic. Thank you, Kashan. All righty. Number 7, what organelle does this process take place? In what organelle? So we have all the, and then you kind of answered it, I think, on your other, the mitochondria. Thank you. So number 7 is the mitochondria. And what are the reactants in words? Reactants are, so in other words, if you were labeling that equation, and you can write the words above each one, that I think that would be more appropriate rather than write it under number 8. Go up to the equation and actually write the words above each one. So yes, you're going to write C6H12O6 is glucose. 6O2 is 6 molecules of oxygen. And those are your reactants. Those are the things that go into the equation. Your products are the things that come out. So they're always on the other side of the arrow. And you have what? Water, carbon dioxide, and you want to say energy because it's already labeled ATP. You want to label that energy. So you want water, carbon dioxide, and energy. Our 36 ATP are energy molecules. All right, I want to, okay, so the next one, so if that one's respiration, this one, number 9, should be photosynthesis. And what organelle does this take place in? Where does photosynthesis take place? In the chloroplast. Thank you, Natalie. Now you got to remember too, plant cells have both mitochondria and chloroplasts. Animal cells only have mitochondria. They do not have chloroplasts. And the reactants in words. So again, I would like you to just write the words over the equation as opposed to writing it under number 11. So yes, you want to label this. So what it's saying is you have 6 molecules of water, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus light. And in the product, those are the reactants. The products are glucose and oxygen. Okay. All right. What I want to do before we do this next section is I want to go back and review okay, so give me a second to get there. Want to go back and review the light and dark reactions for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Okay. There they go. Is that doing? There we go. Okay, here.
What happens during photosynthesis?
All right, give me 1 second because I just discovered that I might have to unshare for a minute. Share sound. There we go. I figured my last class helped me figure out how to make sure that you all can hear the sound on the video. Okay, here we go.
So what is photosynthesis? It's the process that provides energy for almost all life. During photosynthesis, autotrophs use the sun's energy to make carbohydrate molecules from water and carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast of plant cells and algae and in the cell membrane of certain bacteria. Let's look at the equation for photosynthesis. First, we're going to take water, going to add carbon dioxide, and then add some light. This will turn into glucose and oxygen. This is the process equation for photosynthesis. There are 2 stages in the process. The first is light dependent, and the second is light independent. Let's first look at light dependent. In the light-dependent reactions, chlorophyll in the thylakoids captures light energy. Light-dependent reactions. These reactions depend on light to occur. They convert light energy into ATP and create NADP. ATP and NADP created are then used in the Calvin cycle.
Okay, I want you to take note of that. I want you to say that I want you to write light reaction, light dependent reaction, and I want you to write these points down. Okay, depends on light to occur, converts light energy into ATP and creates NADP, because that's going to be one of the questions in in the next section on the worksheet. The ATP and NADP created are used in the Calvin cycle. So that's going to be in the next part. And it occurs in the thylakoids. So when you finish that, look at the diagram so that you understand what a thylakoid is. Okay, now when it says occurs in the thylakoid membrane, remember that all of these structures have those membranes around them. So if you look at the picture, the stack of discs is called the whole stack is called the grana, but each one of those discs is a thylakoid. Okay. All right.
These occur in the thylakoid membrane. Light independent, which is also called the Calvin cycle. They all occur in the stroma of chloroplast. The chemical energy stored in ATP and NADPH powers the formation of glucose using carbon dioxide, CO2, and the H plus from the NADPH. In the Calvin cycle, carbon dioxide enters the leaves of plants and diffuses into cells that contain chloroplast. A molecule of CO2 is then fixed to an existing 5-carbon sugar by an enzyme. The 6-carbon sugar that results is unstable and it splits into two. A series of reactions occur where ATP and NADPH donate energy and matter to create a molecule of. Remember that photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of plants. These plants contain chloroplast.
Okay, hold on. I wanted to pause it. Where? Okay, right there. All right, so now you want to make another list. So this one is the light independent reaction or the Calvin cycle. So it has two names. Light independent, meaning you don't need light for this part of the activity. And these are all of the things that happen there. And we didn't talk about the structure of a plant, but plants' leaves have these little, they look like two kidney beans and they're like little doors that open and close, and they take in the carbon dioxide. And then that is going to find its way to the chloroplast so that it can go through this cycle. Now notice it said that contains chlorophyll. So in other words, when we take in oxygen, this is not happening for us. When we, sorry, not oxygen, carbon dioxide. So we may inhale the carbon dioxide, but we don't do anything with it. We'll exhale it right back out. It is in the air. It's not, but we're going to exhale it back out with the carbon dioxide that we create. So it's the only thing when we inhale air, which is a mixture of gases, we inhale the oxygen and we use the oxygen. Everything else is exhaled back out. All right, then it combines. It says it's fixed. That means it's attached to the sugar. All right. None of, in this case, with photosynthesis, light energy is needed, but you also have some enzymes. You don't have to know the name of that enzyme, but you do need to know that an enzyme is involved. And it is important in this part of the reaction. It says then the 6-carbon sugar that results is unstable, so it splits in two. So that's our 2 pyruvic acid molecules. A series of reactions occurs where the ATP and NADPH donate their energy and create a molecule of glucose. Okay, and then the 5-carbon sugar originally created is generated and the cycle begins again. So this is a cycle. All right, is everybody good? Can I advance the video? And if and this is in your module, so if you need to go back and finish that up, you can always go back and do that.
Energy and matter to create a molecule of. Remember that photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of plants. These plants contain chlorophyll, which is what absorbs the sun's energy. This energy is then used to split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen is released from the leaves and into the atmosphere, and then hydrogen and carbon dioxide are used to form glucose or food for plants. Environmental factors that influence the rate at which a plant can carry out photosynthesis. Light intensity. This rate increases with increasing light intensity and then levels off. Amount of carbon dioxide. This rate also increases with increasing amount and then levels off. Temperature. Enzyme activity increases to optimum temp. Let's review. Light intensity. As light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis initially increases and then levels off to a plateau. CO2 levels. Increasing the level of CO2 stimulates photosynthesis until the rate reaches a plateau. Temperature. Raising the temperature accelerates the chemical reactions involved in photosynthesis.
Okay. All right. So I want to go back to the worksheet. We did all of that so that we could answer, make sure that we answer the review question. All right, so this matching section right here. All right, high energy electron carrier in the light reaction of photosynthesis. What is that? And again, I just showed that to you so that you would know which one that is. Okay, thank you, Natalie. The CNADPH. Okay, again, I wish I could write on this, but it's C. All right, high energy electron carrier carrier produced in the Krebs cycle along with FADH2. Now, the Krebs cycle, we talked about that yesterday. That comes after glycolysis, the second step. And cellular respiration is the Krebs cycle. And it's going to need what? All right. Well, we've already used C, and it's not ATP, so it's got to be B. B is the answer for 13, high energy electron carriers. Remember, they are carrying, we watched the little video with the crazy lady, where these molecules are carrying, the electrons are those little hydrogen molecules, and they are going through this assembly line in order to produce ATP. All right, and I'm going to just tell you that both 14 and 15 are A. So both used by cells as a source of ready available energy is ATP, and is generated as a result of cellular respiration is ATP. We make the 36 ATP molecules as a result of cellular respiration. I think yesterday we also looked at if it's anaerobic, it only creates lactic acid, and that only creates 2 ATP. But if you do aerobic respiration, that gives you 36 ATP. All right. We're not going to get finished with all of this, but I do want you to try to get finished with all of this before Friday. But I'm going to keep going, but I just want to say that even though I don't get finished with this, is a review page, and I want you to make sure that you are going through all of your vocabulary and answering all these questions. Okay. All right. True or false? Most chloroplast is found in green colored structures called mitochondria. And then I want to look at this is false. I'm going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to tell you that this is false. And it's false because what I would like for you to do is to correct the thing that made it false. It's not found in the mitochondria. It's found in what? What structure would this chlorophyll be found in? The chloroplast. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next one is, I'm going to tell you that that's true. We see green because, and you can underline that word absorb, because visible light, remember, visible light has all the colors of the rainbow. And so what the chlorophyll is doing is absorbing every color except green. So we see green because that's the only color that is reflected back. It's not absorbed. Now, what happens in the fall, like what's happening now, is this little factory stops doing this. So then we start to see the orange and all the pretty colors I have behind me in my background picture. So this is why we see all the different colors in the fall, because it stops absorbing the same amount of light that it used to. Okay. Let's see. White light. Now that's true. I just said that. So white light is considered has all the colors of the rainbow. They're all fused together. And I think when you went back on that page that I was just on for photosynthesis, it had the electromagnetic spectrum, and in the middle of the electromagnetic spectrum is visible light. And visible light, I don't know if you've learned the thing RGBIVs, which tells you all the colors of the rainbow in order. And when we say in order, according to wavelengths. So some have long wavelengths, some have short wavelengths. Okay. All right. ADP is used as an energy source in organisms. That's false. ADP is used. So what happens with ADP is it lost a phosphate. And so it's got to go travel and pick one up so it can become ATP again. Okay, so ADP is not the energy source, ATP is. Okay, and ADP just means it has two phosphates instead of three. All right, if oxygen is used to carry out cellular respiration, the process is called aerobic respiration, and this is true. Aerobic means the presence of oxygen. Lactic acid fermentation in humans can lead to cramping due to lack of carbon dioxide. It's false, and I want you to circle the carbon dioxide part because it's due to lack of oxygen. So you need to know that. So the statement is true until that last part is lack of oxygen. All right, in light reactions, photosynthesis and light energy are converted to chemical energy. That is true. The chemical energy is glucose. So you might want to put glucose in brackets at the end of that sentence. All right, internal membranes found in the chloroplast are called the thylakoids, and we just saw that's in the video, so that is true. All right, so that's about all the, well, maybe I have time to just do two more. All right, the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis occurs in the chlorophyll. Yes, it does. Photosynthesis occurs in autotrophs, but not heterotrophs. That is true. Autotrophs means that they are producers or green plants. Heterotrophs have to get their food, so that one is true. And carbon is one of the products of the Krebs cycle. It is released, yes. Okay. All righty. So again, I'm going to count on you all to finish working on this. And then this is a study guide, so use it to study once you've completed filling in the rest of it. Do you have any questions for me? All right, then. You enjoy your lunch.